Speak the truth. With Carl West.
Speak the truth.
With Carl West.
Speak the truth. Speak the truth. Speak the truth.
Yeah, Carl West.
Tell everybody.
Speak the truth, baby.
Ooh.
It's a podcast for truth. Are your ears ready? For Carl West. Are your ears ready? Speak the truth. Let's go, King Farley with Carl West. Yeah, he is. Your ears. Carl West. Carl West.
Hey.
Carl West. Carl West.
Yeah.
Carl West. Carl West. Carl West. Carl West. Carl West.
Hey, what's up? This is Carl West, back of another episode with Speak the Truth with Carl West. Yep, that's me. I'm going to keep this thing really direct to the point. It's a serious issue. But first, I want you to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. I need those numbers. I need you to give me those numbers so that we can keep delivering you this content. Subscribe. Hit the alert button. Share it. Do whatever you have to do. Just give us those numbers. We've been pushing this thing, and I think it's a very good product. We get a lot of compliments on the product, the content itself. We just want to stand out among the rest. I know there's so much content out here, podcast via content, and we just want to give y'all the best that we can. We just want to give y'all relevant and real content, man, that makes you think. I'm a prophetic thought leader, and I want to engage to you with my prophetic thoughts about things that I believe in, people, places, and things. Okay, so once more, just subscribe. Hit the share, hit the like, ring the bell, do whatever you got to do. Just make sure you get this content in your inbox, but most importantly, share it with all of your network. Now, look, the making of Black America, the 250th year of innovation, discovery, the search for freedom, equality, and liberation. This is where we are at. This is what we have attempted to do in the last 250 years of America. We are celebrating this country, this USA, this Make America Great Again country. We are celebrating it on this July 4th. And there are celebrations going on all around the world. I actually get the White House website, and I get these notices on all of these celebrations going on almost in every city across the country. Definitely in most of the red states, given the fact that our president is a Republican, MAGA Republican. The red states are definitely vibing with these Make America Great 250-year celebrations. And I felt, as I'm looking at these announcements, and I just felt that it was important for Black folks to understand. And I've had conversations with people over the last few weeks to months for that matter, and there have been mixed reviews, which I understand everybody's angle. Two things can always be true. There are people who feel like this country have not done well by the Negro race, and I concur with them 100%. There's other people that just believe that we should not be celebrating the country again, that has not been good to the Negro race over the last 250 years, but we know it goes way back farther than that. But let's just stick on the last 250 years of America. Again, I agree with each one of the folks on either side that wants to denounce this country, don't want to wave a patriotic flag, don't want to give any credit to this country for the what has happened to contribute to the advancements of the Negro race, because there are a lot of things that have happened in this country that has afforded us the benefit of progressing in this country. Absolutely. We cannot deny that. There have been people, places, and things that have worked in our favor. Now, granted, the past history of this country over the last 250 years is not one to glorify in terms of clapping our hands and rejoicing and singing Kumbaya. That is not the case. The case that I want to make in this 250 year of America is that we have been screaming for decades and decades and decades. We, meaning black people, we have been screaming for decades and decades and decades that we have contributed greatly to the building of this nation. This nation that we find ourselves in historically for the last 250 years. We have screamed and screamed and screamed and written about, have been movies produced, podcasts as of late, documentaries of all our contributions, black folks' contribution to this country over the last 250 years. And so with that being, how could we not at least acknowledge and celebrate our contributions and our accomplishments? We have to make it known loud and clear to America, not necessarily anybody outside of America, and not anybody inside of America in terms of the racial makeup, but mainly to black folks as we continue to strive for images and putting our stamp on history. We want to be able to communicate to the generations that's not yet born and the ones who are here that black folks have paid a immense price. We have paid dearly to make sure that our contributions have been seen and felt and heard over the last 250 years. And I think we've done a pretty decent job in that respect in terms of being progressive, being innovative, being hungry, protesting, fighting, dying for the right for America to understand our role in America. We have done that fairly well, especially the distant past. I think we haven't done it as well in this new generation of young folks, because I'll be the first to tell you before I continue on, I want to take a sidebar. I'll be the first to tell you that this generation, I believe, is not as equipped mentally to take on the long ride. Understand, people like King and that generation, those folks endured for years, for decades, trying to win our liberation, trying to win our freedom, trying to win our equality, us meaning black people. I think today's generation has a short attention span, which I believe that all of these technologies is meant to do that. Is meant to break us down one person at a time, one community at a time, one group at a time, where our attention span is so shortened that even like when we did the boycott for Target, it was a short period of time compared to the fight that we've endured in past histories. It was a pretty short run. I thought that run should have extended over a year's period. We should have given ourselves a minimum of a year to boycott Target. Not because they come with any refreshed ideas of their trying to, make up for what their leadership had presented along with the command of the White House. But Target, for instance, I believe that when we came to the conclusion that black folks, the ones who wanted to participate, because believe you me, a lot of them didn't as well, but the ones who did made a significant enough difference in Target's bottom line that they came to the table to talk. I believe that there should always be a limit. We should say we're going to carry on this boycott of Target for 6 months to a year or whatever the number. There should be a number, and we should not come off that number. So that means that Target can't come, or any other company for that reason, any other major corporation, can't come and try to negotiate with us back door, under the table, whatever the case may be, until that number has been reached. Don't even come and talk to us about standing down until we get to that number of 6 months, because that's the time when we can regroup or have regrouped to have sat behind closed doors and talk about the outcome, what it should look like, what it should be, and what we want the resolution to be. I believe that this generation, led by older generations, which is unfortunately who tries to inject themselves in this new day of politics and reasoning and logic and protest. Let the young folks handle it. Let the new generation of young people handle it. Okay, cool. But we did that, and I think it was a failure in that regard. We did not have a target of how long we wanted to target for the boycott. From now on, I hope going forward, I hope we will look at that. We will do this for a duration, and there's a number attached to it. Just like they had Project 2026, there's a number attached to it. So anyway, with that being said, I do believe this generation is a little different, is a little softer, and here's why. I remember talking to someone about when the White House tried to give, tried to give Iran a negotiation where they was giving them $100+ billion, and we was calling it reparations, right? We was calling it reparations, which is apparently what it was. They was paying them back for destroying their country and murdering thousands of people over this short period of which this war was going on. And I had said to somebody, the reason why they are able to negotiate, Iran that is, with the White House for this money, because they demonstrated that they was willing to die. This generation, I believe, is not willing to stand on the front line and die for what you believe. No one wants to be a casualty. Everybody wants to take advantage of the moment and benefit from the moment. But understand this, when you're in war, there have to be people that understand that they may not make it home. And they live with that fact because of their fighting for a cause, a purpose. And in regards to war with armies, with countries, they fighting for their country. So they will take that seriously and they will go out and die for their country. Iran, the civilians and the armies, the structure of Iran proved that they would die because thousands of people died. The country lost a lot, but they still kept fighting. They never gave in. They never wavered. This generation, I believe, in this generation, mine being the one maybe after mine, we have not proven that we are willing to die. We are not willing to die for our liberation, our freedom, and our equality. And that's why we haven't gotten reparations. We haven't gotten on the front line today and proven that we will die. We give in like we gave in to Target. We should have been willing to die without Target. We should have been willing to suffer without Target in our lives for years down the road. But anyway, here we are, the 250th year of Black America, the making of Black America. 250 years of our innovation, the new discoveries, the search for our freedom, equality, and liberation. And I want to thank all the Black people who've contributed to our advancements, our tremendous advancements. Now I say tremendous because it has been tremendous advancements. Granted, we have not advanced better than I thought we would have if I was looking at this as a scholar and a prophetic thought leader that I am. I would have thought we'd advance more, especially on the wealth building side. We have not tackled the wealth building mechanism that well. Sure, there are some wealthy Black folks. A lot of them are athletics, entertainers. Very few of them are entrepreneurs and business people. We have some, but we don't have enough, in my mind, where we can look at a community like these other communities, like the white communities and the Asian communities. They can go into neighborhoods and communities where everybody in those neighborhoods are wealthy, extremely wealthy. They build communities for billionaires and people who are making $100 million a year. They build whole islands and communities for them. We don't have enough of them to build communities, enough of them to build islands. We should be at that same, not at the same level of white folks, because as I stated, they have 400-year head start in the wealth building game. And so we accept that. It is what it is. But what we've come through and endured 250 years, and it has been horrendous. We have carried a large monkey on all our backs every single day trying to build something in this country that has proven on many of occasions that they didn't want us in this country. And they did every bigoted and racial thing they can do to deter us from prospering in this country. But yet we rose. Yet we have risen. And we have to give ourselves salute to that. We got to salute to that. Because we was not expected to be here at this level to have a president, which is what now we see prompt this new MAGA movement of Trump. But I don't want to get on him. This whole thing about us accomplishing so much. So if we've accomplished so much, we shouldn't need DEI anymore. We shouldn't need handouts anymore. That's their ideology. I'm not going to agree with them completely. But the fact that we have endured and survived, and we had a president, we've had mayors, we've had governors, state reps, we had CEOs and corporations and nonprofits. We, inside of corporations, we got high-end executives, right? Plentiful. We still, in my estimation, in my mind, still are not nowhere near where we should be in terms of the wealth building mechanism, which could play a role in our liberation and our freedom and our equality if we would have built many, many, many more. I'm talking about thousands of more millionaires and 100-millionaire and billionaire men and women, black people. If we'd have built more of them, we would be so much farther. But for some reason, we failed in doing that. I can't necessarily pinpoint why or how. I just know we are not there. But we still want to celebrate the making of Black America, 250 years of innovation, discovery, search for freedom, equality, and liberation. I want to celebrate that. And I want to celebrate all of the Black Republicans, all of the Black Republicans over the last 250 years who've also made a contribution, if not to the whole, to their own personal success. This is not just about celebrating the entity of organizations. We will do that. We have done that. This is about celebrating individually as well. The Black Republicans who have not seen eye to eye with Black people in general, we want to congratulate them because they also have built something for themselves individually and their families, and possibly for their communities that they live in. Most likely in all Black communities, of course. But a lot of people don't live in all Black communities once you rise to a certain level of society. It's just a fact. But I want to give kudos to those Black Republicans. I want to give Black kudos to now folks who are individual and some organizations for individuals like Bill Garf, Jim Compton, Urban League, Bill Garf, Citizen Newspaper, Henry English, Buffy, Ben Carson, who was a Republican, John Johnson, Clarence Thomas, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Dr. Martin Luther King, Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr., Mark Mariella, Urban League, Jackie Robinson, Oprah Winfrey, John Thompson, NCAA basketball coach, Magic Johnson, of course, Michael Jordan, Dr. J, Hakeem Olajuwon, Bill Russell, so many other great basketball players, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, the sprinter, also LeBron James, Jackie Joyner Kersee, Wilma Rudolph, Serena and Venus Williams, Jesse Owens, Louis Farrakhan, the Black Panther Party, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Rosa Parks, Gwendolyn Brooks, Althea Gibson, Brandon Johnson, Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, Harold Washington, former mayor, Lori Lightfoot, former mayor of Chicago, the Divine Nine for creating themselves and being an institution that gathers tons of people, Jeremiah Wright, Reverend Jeremiah Wright, Bishop Brazier. I want to thank the Ghetto Boys, EPMD, No Limit, So Def, No Limit Records, Nas, Jay-Z, Def Jam and Russell Simmons, Rakim, KRS-One, LL Cool J, Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper, T.I., NAA, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Nosa, today's modern heroes, entrepreneurs, Mark Brooks, MC Light. I want to thank all the black people that have participated in the National Hockey League, the NBA, the NFL, the making of the WNBA, the Tuskegee Airmen, Don King, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, John Johnson, George Johnson. These are all people who've contributed over the last 250 years to the making of Black America. All the coaches and athletes who played in collegiate sports over the last 250 years. Melanie Hobson. All these people contributed to the making of Black America over the last 250 years. George Foreman. All these people have contributed to the making of Black America. There are so many more. These are names that I have listed. And Bob Johnson of BET, of course. Don Cornelius of Soul Train. These are people who've contributed greatly. The Negro League, all of the men who contribute to building up the Negro League. Starting with Jackie Robinson, he was only one. So many others who contributed to the building of the Negro League. These are all men and women who've contributed to the building up of this great nation. The Harlem Globetrotters. These are all people that have built something, institutions, and individual accolades over the last 250 years. Biggie. I think I said Tupac. Yes. So many people. Tribe Called Quest. I said the Ghetto Boys. Did I say NWA? If I'm repeating myself, forgive me. I said No Limit Records, didn't I? Absolutely. Master P, Jermaine Dupri, So Def. Of course, can't forget Bad Boy and Puffy, Sean Puffy Combs. He also contributed greatly to the making of Black America. Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin. So many people have made so many contributions. Sidney Poitier. All right. So many people have contributed to Black America. Malcolm Gladwell. Yeah, he's a brother. Also, so many historians who contributed to the making of Black America over the last 250 years. I believe it is important that we celebrate this moment. We celebrate this time. Jack Johnson. We celebrate this time of all the individuals who contributed to the making of Black America. So many to name. So many. So many names and organizations who have played a role in the building and the making of Black America over the last 250 years. And everybody out there, when you listen to this, say names, write down names of anybody that I may have missed, or you want to repeat the names of anybody who's made a contribution to the making of Black America the last 250 years of this country, this nation that we've had the chance to occupy. Reluctantly, we've occupied it. Willingly, we've occupied it. They've tried to not insert us into the building of this country. Only as laborers, free laborers at that, cheap laborers as that. But we have risen, and we need to honor this. We can't let America and the White House and anybody else celebrate the history of this country, the 250 years of this country, and not include us. Therefore, In order to do that, we have to include ourselves. Once I put this out, I hope that any organization or any individual that sees this, Shyamalan to God, what you've done in your space, anybody else that's out there, so many to mention, again, I want you people to let it be known that the Negro race has contributed greatly to the building of this country. For 250 years, we have sweat equity in this game. And we have to take this very seriously as we now celebrate this thing on July 14th, this coming Saturday. Because once that Saturday ends, we now start the next 250 years of the continued making of Black America in this country. And I can't imagine what will be our contributions 250 years from now. I hope that this will be a time capsule and someone could look back at it and begin to start to assemble names and organizations that have also contributed to the next 250 years of America, which at that point we will be landing on 500 years of the making of Black America in this country. Because I'm sure that our fight will still be going on. We will still be looked upon quietly as innovators, discovering new frontier, but yet still trying to find our freedom, equality, and liberation. That is the only part that saddens me as I sit here thinking about the history of Black America and the fact that we are still fighting a fight. Even though the gains have been immense, the gains over the last 250 years have been incredible. The fact that we still have to fight America, this country that we have contributed to, we still have to continue to fight this sometimes and maybe oftentimes bigoted country for our liberation, our freedom, and some form of equality and equity. That is just the hard part for me to reconcile with as I sit here, and I've been thinking about this for so long. Arthur Ashe, that's right, his contribution greatly to the world of tennis. I mentioned Althea Gibson, her contribution to tennis in this country. There are so many names and so many organizations, Black names and Black organizations who have contributed. Of course, I couldn't say them all. I said the names that popped into my head as I sat down to write on these notepads. And as I sit here, more popped to my head that I want to remember. John Stroger in Chicago. I want to remember him. I want to remember the first female Black congresswoman, Carol Moseley Braun, whose historic battle brought us to a point. Jesse Jackson Jr. became a congressman. Jonathan Jackson is now a congressman. Robin Kelly was once a congressman. Danny Davis in Chicago was once a congressman. And all the Black aldermen, city council members across the country who sits in these seats, all the Black legislators, state legislators, on the Republican and the Democratic and Independent and liberal and what they call libertarian side, they all played a role. If you made a contribution, if you chose to fight for this country and fight for the community, you are all contributors to the making of Black America over the last 250 years. Chris Welch, the Speaker of the House, first Black Speaker of the House in Illinois. Juliana Stratton, first Black Lieutenant Governor in Illinois. She's contributed to this. Again, there's so many. can't remember them all. I want to. I want to give them all credit, but the time will not allow me to do so. But as I wrap this up, I want to say again, it is important that Black America, and even the black folks outside of this country, raise a toast, and salute. And for those who ain't here, salute. Okay, I would like to just, again, America, just celebrate the making of Black America, the 250 years of innovation, discovery, and our search for freedom, equality, and liberation. Don't let no one else tell our story. Tell our story and tell it well, because before you know it, it'll be 250 more years, and then we'll be on the 500th year of the making of Black America. We want to make sure that all our accomplishments and advancements has been written and noticed, celebrated, and saluted. With that being said, I'm Carl West. This is Speak the Truth. I'm out of here.
It's a beautiful day. Let the children play. They ain't feeling no pain. It's a beautiful day. Wake up in the morning, it's a wonderful feeling. Good to be living, feel it all in my